how hard is it to get 100% VA disability rating? There's a few parts to a 100% VA disability rating, and here's how I'm going to break them down. The first step is, how badly have you sabotaged your claim up to this point? What is your current VA rating? And do you know what you're going to need to get from your current rating to 100? And then the most important part is, can you prove that you actually deserve a 100% rating versus what you currently have now? So I'm engaged with somebody that's relatively close to the family that I don't talk to very much. Crazy younger Vietnam veteran. And like, hey, see if you could help the crazy guy out. Like, okay, cool. I'll listen to what he has to say. All over the board, just blabbering, 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 not even listening to a word that I'm saying. They fucked me here and they did this here. And it's like, cool, that's a pretty good argument. How's that been working out for you? So he kind of picked up on that a little bit, and I'm trying to explain it to him. He's at the beginning stages of reality, which is learning what you actually need to do to get there. But I think he's actually done some damage to his claim. So just kind of want to talk through what might have happened. So the first thing that he has going for him is he's actually on appeal, and he's had this claim alive since 2015. Have no clue how he's managed to preserve his effective date for that long. But he's literally sitting there waiting for, he's got his docket number and all that kind of stuff, waiting for his day in front of the judge. And he has no clue about his disabilities at all, how they're service connected, doesn't understand that direct service connection, secondary service connection, presumptive service connection, completely clueless. Doesn't understand any of the circumstances. Just like, all right, it's been 5 or 6 years, I'm just going to go in there and tell him my deal or whatever. Pay me 100. That's his deal. So I'm like, that's a losing strategy. So he actually told me a couple things. Again, I told him he needs to get with an accredited claims agent and a lawyer, because they need to go in and look at what he has, how far off he is from seeing a judge. I don't know what the deal is there. But they need to get in there and look and see, what's salvageable, and better start salvaging. I guarantee you he's weak on medical evidence. And this is the time he needs to start getting that and supplementing it, if that's possible. Again, not a lawyer, not sure exactly what stage he's at, which is why I'm telling him to get a lawyer. So he said that he had an injury, and he's service connected for his back, or wants to be, one of the two. And like, oh yeah, I went in there and told them that I fell years after I got out, and they're blaming this on this fall. It's like, well, you told them you fell, so there is some blame there. And then he said that another veteran's Social Security number got mixed in with his file in the 70s, and some stuff got burned up in that fire in St. Louis. And he's just kind of going on. It sounds like he's actually reading news and weaving it into his story. So this is worse than lying. He's just completely making shit up. But he's got his eye on the prize, which is the most dangerous part. He just wants 100%. So he never got his claims file. So he doesn't know what's going on, if there is another Social Security number mixed in, or if he just read that on the news or heard that that's happened before. Get your claims file and see if that's happened. If there are 25 pages of some other guy's claim mixed in with yours, and that's been used against you, that would probably be a good thing for you to know about. Also, this slip and fall thing, and you're constantly, I talked to this guy for an hour and a half, and his story's all over the board. Like, to say that he's changing his story is laughable. Like, he changes his story and he's just all over the place. And I get it. I wasn't quite like that, but that's the way my brain works. But he needs to figure out what his story is, and he needs somebody to get in there and see if they can make sense of this thing. So he actually told me what his plan is. So he's at 60. So he's like, my plan is to go from 60 to 100. I guess he's not quite 67 yet. He's a little younger, so he hasn't retired on Social Security. It's like, I need to get my 60 to 100 so I can get my Social Security early. Then I'll have my 100 and my social security and I'll be done. And it's like that's your argument? He's like, yeah, I mean, I go in there and I just don't get why the fuck they don't listen to me. I go in there and I've asked them straight up, where's my 100% VA disability rating? And it's just like, dude, wrong question. First, let me break down why that's wrong. Um, you don't go in asking for a rating. This isn't an ice cream shop or a candy store. You don't go in there and be like, what are the options here? 0, 10, let's see, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And they start hinting towards the 20. You're like, let me go ahead with the 100 one. It doesn't work like that. VA disability ratings work on what's screwed up in your body, what you're able to prove and get service connected. And then the compensation comes after you do all that stuff. They assign you a rating. If you don't like that rating, you can appeal it and fight it and stuff like that. But you don't get to go pick the number that you want and then argue it from that way. So I know for sure he's gone into the Veterans Health Administration, who is not the Veterans Benefits Administration, right? Two gigantic VHA, Veterans Health Administration. They're probably the biggest healthcare company in the entire world. I'm sure the VBA is pretty damn big too. But he's going in there like, hey, doc, how's it going? I want my 100, please. like it's a ludicrous argument. If you're doing this, stop doing that. That's why I'm sitting on this one so much. Quit going in the VHA and talking to them about benefits and talking to them about how you want 100%. They're using that against you. You're running your mouth, and when you're running your mouth, what you say can and will be used against you. So I think he's done some damage to his claim. Not sure how bad he sabotaged it. He needs to educate himself, and like I said, this thing's on appeal. He needs to get somebody that actually can fight for him and get into it. Use the VBMS system, get in and look at everything, and help him. The second part of this is, what's your current rating, and do you know what you're going to need for a 100 VA rating? So he's at 60. He's got all this shit on appeal. He doesn't have any clue how it added up to 60. He's like, this math sucks. So he doesn't even understand how it adds up, which is fine. I don't understand it that well either, but I understand it a lot more. And more importantly, I can get the info. And that's VA math. We'll just stay here for a second. Like, you need to figure out where you're at. He's at 60. Like, 60. Like, do you even know what that means? Yeah, 60. No. 60 means 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, rounded up to 60, or 60 on the money, or 61, 62, 63, 64, rounded down to 60. It's a big difference. It's 9-point gap? Like, you need to figure out which 60 you are. It matters. All these number increments matter. The higher up you get, it is a lot harder. When you're at 92, you need to get to 95% because it rounds up to 100. When you're at 92, trying to figure out how you're going to get up to 95, it gets a lot harder. You need a lot higher value claims. So he doesn't understand the VA math part. He doesn't understand how to get there, and that's fine. Good reason for to hire a lawyer. Have them explain this. This one's weak. We could supplement it. This one is hearing loss. Best case scenario, you're already wearing hearing aids. Like, that's another one. He doesn't understand that. Like, they put hearing aids in, I've had them my whole life. Like, it's still 0%, dude. You can't force a disability to pay that doesn't pay. A loser is a loser. Like, move on and go find something that actually pays if that's what you're after. So the last part of this is, can you prove that you deserve and earn a 100% VA disability rating? At this point, I think he had a shitty VSO, and I think he probably did everything direct service connection style, which is riddled with problems. When you're filing a claim, he has migraines. So one of the things he told me is he got smacked on the head by a hatch or something in Nam, and he's had headaches, and he went to go try to file a claim, but something happened, and then some records burned up in like 70s, 80s. He didn't even get in there until the 90s. And he didn't actually file the migraines claim until like this last appeal date that he has, 2015. So it's like, you can argue it to me, Combat Craig, all you want. It doesn't matter. You're going to be arguing this to the VA, but I'm just telling you, it's flimsy at best. You're telling me that you waited 35 years to file a migraines claim. You're doing a direct service connection from 35 years ago. Well, yeah, the reason I did that is because you wouldn't accept me. Like, they don't give a shit about why they didn't accept you. They don't care if your record's burned up. I'm like, dude, you need to relook at that, and you're probably going to need to turn that into a secondary service connection claim. So lots of stuff came out of my mouth to him, but I'm just confusing him because he's just not a Combat Craig kind of guy. It's too much. He needs to educate himself. Victim mentality. You need to get rid of the victim mentality. You need to actually give a shit about your claim. Like, understand migraines. Are you at 0, 10, 30, or 50? Do you know it's diagnostic code 8100? Like, I don't even have migraines or headaches, and I know that stuff. Granted, I've talked about them a few times, but like, get proficient in speaking about your disabilities. If you can memorize what your diagnostic codes are, even better.